Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you are a startup or a new entrepreneur, okay, and you just starting your business and stuff, and you're trying to find the best lines of credit, I would say the best lines of credit. The reason the lines of credit and not the loans is because with the loans, it's too much red tape. So I found some institutions that if you have business generating in your business, but you're still like a startup and stuff like that, your credit may not be the best, then these are the lenders that you may want to take a look at. All right. Now, that being said, the first one we're talking about is Giggle Finance. Now, the reason why I go Giggle Finance is because if you are an entrepreneur, okay, you're not working a 9 to 5, and you're needing a quick loan or something like that, they do it with no credit check. As you can see here, it does not affect your credit score. So what they do, they look at your revenue that's coming into your bank account. All right. Whether it's your business bank account or your regular bank account. Now, here's one thing I would definitely tell you guys. You're leaving money on the table when you're not structured as a business, okay? You're leaving money on the table. I'll tell you another way you're leaving money on the table is when you file your taxes and you're filing at a loss. When you're showing a loss in your business, you're leaving money on the table. You're trying to stop from paying the IRS taxes, but at the same time, a lot of the major lenders aren't willing to give you the funding you need to continue to grow your business. So you need to consider stop filing a loss in the business if you want to get access to more money. That being said, as I was saying here about Giggle Finance. Now, as an entrepreneur, like they say, you apply, you approve, you get funded. It's very simple. It doesn't matter in terms of the gig industry. They give you up to $5,000. Now, this is just one entity that I'm talking about, and I got a few others that's definitely going to help you, because I know a lot of people, they pause on funding because they can't find lenders that'll work with them if they have a low credit score. Well, they're not tripping off the credit score, all right? So if you need help structuring your business and choosing the right NAICS code, that's very important. That being said, let's hop right over here, okay? So this is DreamSpring, okay? So with DreamSpring, I tell a lot of you guys about, with DreamSpring, they offer the power line of credit for your business, all right? Now, here's the interesting thing about it. With DreamSpring, they loans come through Upstart, okay? Upstart pulls TransUnion. So the average minimum credit score is at least a 620 credit score, okay? Now, their revolving lines of credit is up for 24 months. The reason that I like revolving lines of credit, because when you borrow the money and you pay it back, you can borrow it again without them doing another hard pull on the credit, okay? And it can give you so much more leverage, all right? Now, their loans go up to $50,000, and it offers a fixed interest rate, okay? And like I said, it's Upstart. Upstart uses FICO 9. So TransUnion FICO 9 is what they're going to do in order to determine if you qualify. Now, the good thing about this, if you don't even have any revenue in the business, DreamSpring will work with you. Okay, as long as you have at least a 620 or higher credit score, all right? That being said, so Navy Federal business line of credit. Now, here's the thing about it that's so confusing about Navy Federal business lines of credit in terms of once you join. Now, the key to joining Navy Federal, if you don't have anybody that's a relative that's in the military, if you share an address with somebody already member of Navy Federal, you can join that way as well. Okay, so there is an alternative way to join, and that's about the best way for you to join Navy Federal. Now, you guys hear me talk about Navy Federal internal score. Now, their internal score goes from 100 up to 450. But here's the interesting thing about it. Their internal scores are only good credit cards. It's not for their lines of credit, okay? So where some people assume, well, I have multiple pledge loans and stuff, I should get a loan from them. It doesn't work like that with Navy Federal. Also, here's another key. As I was talking about the right type of business, high-risk NAICS codes. This is one key factor that would definitely get you turned down with Navy Federal. They do not play around. Here's the thing about it. Navy Federal NAICS codes reflect the Small Business Administration. All right. So what that means is that if the Small Business Administration won't fund it, they're not going to fund it. So Navy Federal, if you're in an MLM, okay, multi-level marketing, they are not going to open you a business bank account, okay? If you're in the cannabis, CBD oil, they will not open you a business line of credit. If you're in the restaurant industry, food truck, they will work with, okay? But when it comes to like a regular restaurant, sometimes they may or may not want to work with you. If you're in the ammunition business, selling artillery, guns and things of that nature, they may not work with you. It's too high of a risk. Gambling, too high of a risk. Porn, too high of a risk, okay? So choosing the right NAICS code. Real estate. Over 80% of the people I talk to want to get into real estate. It's a high-risk NAICS code. You have to find a better NAICS code in order to help get funding, especially with Navy Federal. They're very sensitive about this. Not only them, most of your lending institutions, they're very sensitive about these NAICS codes. So you have to truly take this into consideration. Now, the difference with Navy Federal situation is that they offer the business lines of credit. So they offer secured lines of credit and they offer unsecured lines of credit. And the good thing about it, you don't have to be in business over a year. Here's the secret, all right? With Navy Federal, once you open up your regular checking account, once you're accepted into the credit union, you open up your flagship checking account, you open up your savings account. If you have challenging credit, you would do an N rewards, a pledge loan. You can even do a money market account. Then you open up your business bank account. However, here's the key. When you open up your business bank account, it takes them between 30 to 60 days. Sometimes, usually about 30 days for them to open up the account and stuff. Then after that, it may take you have to start putting money in it. That's the reason I tell you about making daily deposits. This is so important because a lot of people don't follow this here step. Putting in daily or weekly deposits into your business bank account, okay? This is what's going to help you get approved, all right? Now, they want to see this here on a consistent basis between 30 to 60 days. Then once they see that consistency, then they'll offer you a business credit card, business line of credit. Usually they start you out between $25,000 to $35,000. Okay, you cannot have multiple companies with Navy Federal. Another thing you need to know about Navy Federal situation is that they don't report your business transactions to the business credit bureaus. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. They are good. You know, if you want to just have that extra bank account, they're okay. But if you're trying to build up your business bank rating so you can get access to more business credit funding, then this is definitely not the financial institution you want to be working with. But I would tell you this, on the personal side, they're great. On the business side, they're so-so, all right? And again, like I said, you can't have multiple companies with them. That's another setback, right? So that's with Navy Federal, okay? And you don't have to be in business a year, all right? Now, American Express business line of credit. Now, here's the thing about it with American Express. Yeah, Navy Federal pulls Experian FICO 9 on the business side. Just keep that in mind, all right? Now, here's another thing. Going over to American Express, looking at their business lines of credit. Here's some of the basic criteria. 18, your business has to have been in business at least a year. Their minimum FICO score is a 660. The good thing I like about it is that they don't require you to be making a whole lot of money. As long as you're producing at least $3,000 a month, it's all that they actually require. Now, in reference to like the business loans, they would request, it's like almost like an invite only. But the business lines of credit, you can actually just go in and apply. Now, one of the key things to this, I would tell you, when you're going for their business lines of credit, I would strongly suggest applying, making sure you have an American Express business credit card. Okay, now you can actually do a pre-qualification for their business credit cards to make sure that you don't get the hard pull. However, with the business lines of credit, again, once you apply for the business lines of credit, by itself, they'll do a hard pull. If you already have a credit card with them, they will not do a hard pull. Okay, and this is very important because you're trying to keep your inquiries down. So with American Express, they usually, if you don't have a relationship with them, they're usually going to pull 2 credit bureaus, which is Experian and TransUnion, okay? And it's going to be your FICO 8, all right? However, if you already have a relationship with them, then it's going to be internal and it won't be a hard pull on your personal credit. Now, do they look at your business credit file? Yes. Who does American Express report to? They report to the Small Business Financial Exchange. Then that information is usually picked up with Experian as well as Dun & Bradstreet, okay? So that you know, all right? But the good thing about it, you don't need to have a whole lot of revenue coming into the business, and all you need is a 660 credit score. Now, here's another key that can help you. If you have someone that's has at least a 660 credit score, because you may not, you can go to the Secretary of State, do an amendment, add them onto the company, and then you can allow them to apply for their business line of credit on your behalf of the company as well, okay? That's just an inside secret to help you guys. It's Wells Fargo, okay? Wells Fargo, the reason is Wells Fargo is a FICO 9 institution, okay? They pull Experian FICO 9, okay? And I tell you guys, and you heard in multiple videos of mine, is that it's easier to work with a FICO 9 financial institution because there's 4 key elements you can do to boost up the credit score. You can add an authorized user to help boost up the credit score. If you don't know how to add authorized user or choosing the right authorized user, click the link in the description for that. You can also add utility bills as well, and also rental payments. So you can have those 4 elements added to your personal credit file, which will help boost up your FICO 9. Okay, now here's the thing about it, looking at these business lines of credit, because Wells Fargo offer 2 different types of business lines of credit. If you are a new customer and you're just starting out or whatever, they offer the Wells Fargo Small Business Advantage line of credit. Okay, it's for customers in less than business in 2 years. This is the reason why I tell you guys, stay away from the loans, because with loans, they want you to be in business. Most lenders want you to be in business at least 18 months up to 24 months. However, there are third-party lenders like Blue Vine. They're okay with you being in business for 6 months, but they want you to be making at least $10,000 a month. And you, as a startup business, most of the time, you're not making that kind of money. Right? So that's what makes it so challenging for companies like Blue Vine. Oh yeah, by the way, Blue Vine is another one of those companies, like when you're trying to get funding and stuff, not only are their interest rates higher, but the only thing about it, they report to Dun & Bradstreet, but they don't report to the other business credit bureaus. So that's the reason you need to go with one of the major banks That's the reason, like American Express, Wells Fargo reports the Small Business Financial Exchange as well, right? So that's the reason you need to at least have one of these type of financial institutions as well, especially if you're trying to get access to more funding. Now, back to what I was saying about this Wells Fargo Small Business Advantage for businesses that have been in business at less than 2 years. Okay, now there's no annual fee on this type of loan and line of credit, excuse me, and they go from $5,000 up to $50,000 on a revolving line of credit. The thing about it, they offer prime plus 4%, 4.5%. All right. Now again, like I said, with this here, here's how you have to do this. When you open up your business bank account with Wells Fargo, you would apply for a business credit card. Okay? Usually they want to see you use that business credit card for at least 6 to 9 months before you go for the line of credit. Now, does that mean that you have to wait that long to apply for a line of credit? No. Okay? If you have a strong enough credit, like I said, with them, they want you to have at least a 680 credit score. That's what they want you to have. As a matter of fact, you can see it here. They want you to have at least a 680 credit score. All right. So if you have a 680 credit score, again, I would garden in the relationship by having a business credit card first and then going after the business line. But that does not stop you if you want to actually apply. So that's the easiest business line of credit from Wells Fargo is the Advantage business line of credit. Okay, that's the easiest one for you to get. All right. Now, let's talk about this other lending institution, which is PNC. They offer business lines of credit as well. All right. Now, here's the thing about it with their business lines of credit is that I was talking to a guy on the phone. He was a banker. But again, this here shows inside the bank, a lot of these guys, they don't know their own products. They do not know their own products, okay? And the reason I can say that, because I asked the guy, I said, I'm looking for a business line of credit, not a loan. How long do I have to be in business? This guy straight up told me 2 years, and that's not true. That's not true with PNC Bank. You don't have to be in business that long in order for you to get a business line of credit. So that's the reason I said some people don't know about their own product. Now with their business lines of credit go from $20,000 up to $100,000. Okay, and there's no collateral. So that's the good thing about it. So think about it. Again, the biggest challenge most people have for these business lines of credit and business loans, they may have the wrong NAICS code, okay, and which creates the headache for them, all right? And so in order for you to prevent having that headache, then I would definitely tell you, make sure that you have the right NAICS code. Another key thing I wanted to tell you guys, and this is so important, look at the addresses on your credit file. When you pull your credit file, your real credit file, I always tell you, you want to shop with your real credit file. If you don't know what your real credit file is, click the link in the description, get your real credit file. The reason is, if you look at the addresses on your credit file, this is something that's starting to happen more often because of artificial intelligence. When artificial intelligence start to look at your credit file and you have multiple addresses and stuff, whichever one that has the most recent date is the address that they're going to use. However, that most recent date on the address on your credit file may not match up with the address on the application. And so this can actually end up having your application denied. So even like if you have an authorized user put on, you have to make sure that you reach out to the credit bureau to let them know, hey, this is not my actual address. My real address is XYZ. So that way when you apply for credit cards and stuff, those addresses match up. Because again, a lot of these financial institutions are using artificial intelligence, and all they are is looking at the address. And because they're only looking at that address, and because these addresses may not match up, then you can be denied even if you have a perfect credit score of 750. And you're like, I don't have no inquiries, I don't have no negatives, I don't have, and you're wondering like what's going on, is because of that address. Your address has been replaced with that authorized user address. And so that's throwing the system off. And sometimes you may have to call in and do a manual review in order for them to understand. Okay, so I'm just giving you some key pointers here so that you'll know. Right? Now, if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.